Welcome to another episode of the Headlight Restoration Pro. On this episode, we will be reviewing the CERAKOTE DIY kit, headlight restoration kit for you do-it-yourselfers. We are going to be giving this product a star rating, either 1 through 5. 1 or closer to 1 being that you do not want to use it. It's not as good as other kits. 5 being it is exemplary. Let's get down to business. Here's the kit. CERAKOTE Ceramic Headlight Restoration Kit. Here it says professional results in less than 30 minutes. No tools required. Superior UV protection. It has a nice little QR code scan here where you can watch a video instead of reading instructions. It says here removes oxidation instantly. It gives a little example of the results you can achieve by using this kit. It has a step 1, a step 2, and a step 3. It says here 3 easy steps. You can take it a headlight looking from this and make it look something more like this. It's a pretty good looking box here. It's made here in the USA. That's where I'm recording this at. Has a little warning here, can cause birth defects, so if you're pregnant, please don't use this kit. Also has a 1-800 number here. If you run into any issues or have any problems, you can also call them. Alright, here on this side here, it gives you a little broad spectrum of what's inside the kit here. It says it has 8 oxidation remover wipes, 1 surface prep pad, 4 surface prep discs, 2 ceramic clear coat wipes, and 4 application gloves. Has all these things in here, and everything's packaged really well. Looks really nice. It's an attractive kit. That's usually a good sign, but not always. Alright, let's get to it and open this box. I'm really excited for this kit. I use CERAKOTE in other areas of the vehicle. They do have other products such as black trim restoration products and other things, and I am fond of their products. But as I said, this is an unbiased opinion. When I'm judging and following the directions, although I want to do my own thing with this stuff because I am a professional and I have my own views and ideologies on this stuff, I am unbiasedly judging this product. I'm going to run that opening back over again here. I just wanted to show you the contents. This little warning thing says read, this is a permanent product, follow all directions. A lot of these headlight restoration kits will say stuff like this. Their ideology of permanent means like 3 years, 4 years, 5 years. No part on a working vehicle is permanent. Always be mindful of that. Says here step 1. These are the oxidation remover pads. Looks like they give you plenty of these. There's 8 of them. Alright, let's see what else we got here. Got some white or see-through polyurethane gloves. That's good. Nice of them to provide that for you so you don't have to go out and buy gloves for this. It's kind of self-efficient. We got here step number 2. Looks like we have a handheld sander. It is identical to the one that I use that I have bought offline, Amazon.com. That's where I get all my merchandise. Not a plug for them, but they're just unmatched in delivery and amount of products. Anyways, it looks like that had a bunch of sandpaper in there, different kinds. It looks like we got an instruction manual here. So we got step number 3 right here. This looks like the final coat. The final step, step 3, which is a ceramic coat. And that is all the contents to this CERAKOTE ceramic headlight restoration kit. With all this product here, you're supposed to be able to perform a proper headlight restoration on 2 lights. This is a ginormous light that I have sectioned off in 3 spots. This is a later model Honda Odyssey minivan, which has ginormous lights. We're just going to use this section here, which is once again a third of the light. The other 2 sections will be used for other products and other headlight restoration kits. Stay tuned for those as well. Okay, step 1. They mention here in step 1, the first things they say is open the hood of the car. That doesn't apply to this because we're not performing this on an actual vehicle. As I said, I do this professionally and I will not experiment on somebody's vehicle. It also says to clean light thoroughly, which I have already done. Next it says put on the supplied gloves, and here we go, put on those urethane gloves. Protect yourself at all times, especially if they're telling you to. Alright, with this next step here, which is still part of step 1, they want you to use the oxidation removal pads or little towelettes that are included in the kit. There's a total of 8 of them, and that's what it says right here. It's a total of 8 of them. They're supposed to use about 4 on each light. We're doing a much smaller surface. We're doing 1/3 of a extremely large light, so we're just going to use say about 2, which is a lot more than needed for this one side. We're not doing the whole light, we're just doing this one side of the light, which is like once again 1/3. So we're going to use two pads for this one area here, which is well more than enough. Okay, here, nice easy open. Gonna go ahead and remove the pad out. Alright, this is really strong smelling stuff. Some kind of chemical it is soaked with. I would think some kind of turpentine or acetone base, some kind of strong chemical to lift out color, almost bleaching the headlight. This is a chemical method. This is why they wanted you to use gloves. It's a very chemical based method. It's very strong. I can smell it now. See, as they said here, the way you're supposed to do it is in a scrubbing circular motion. I can feel it. It's got a little drag to it, and then it starts slicking out a little bit more slowly in different spots. It's very interesting. I've never used an oxidation pad remover. This is one of the first kits I've seen one in, which is one of the reasons why I was really interested in trying this kit out. It says you're supposed to use the pad and then it soaks up the yellow oxidation, as you see here. Would you look at that? Interesting, very interesting. Like I said, ladies and gentlemen, all of these kits are semi-similar. Some of them have their good points, some of them have their bad points. What you want to do is, if you're a professional headlight restoration professional, or if you just want to learn more about it, you want to kind of take the good, away from the bad and just use all the good. Come up with your own style, your own way of doing things the way I have. That is the main reason why my headlight restorations come out so good. Anyhow, here we go. We're doing a second wipe here. We're scrubbing right here, scrubbing down. It tells you that once you finish with that first one, and it gets pretty yellow, discard it and go ahead and start with a new one until that one wipes off most of the yellow as well. The instructions also say in part of the end part of step 1 is you want to use 4 wipes per headlight. This is overkill, but they say it's just to ensure that you're removing as much yellow as possible. See that there? And what I'm going to do is, it's still pretty wet and the light is still pretty wet, so I'm going to flip it here and just keep using the same pad. They're pretty durable, they're pretty wet, and they're pretty thick. One side will get most of the yellowing on it, and the other side will still be somewhat white at the edge. Next, they say rinse thoroughly. Get this stuff off the light, wipe it clear, and let dry before the next step. These kits are designed for the do-it-yourselfer, the person who doesn't really have tools and these things like that, can't afford to go buy a bunch of tools. That can just go in the garage and bust this out with everything that comes in the kit. It can never really be as good as a professional grade headlight restoration, but as you see, it is getting pretty clear just off that first step there. It knocked a lot of that yellow off. But like I said, these hand kits can never really be as good as the kits that are using power tools and other things like that, in my opinion and in my experience. But they are a good likeness for somebody who's not trying to spend a lot of money, who, like I said, doesn't have a lot of money to buy a lot of tools and all these things like that. You could just spend a little money on this kit and get it taken care of. Anything's better than the way they were. On this step, you want to make sure that it is thoroughly cleaned and thoroughly rinsed off and dry before you start the next kit. You can already see the difference here between this side is what it looked like before, and this side is what it looks now so far after step 1. Alright, time for step number 2. Okay, so what we got here is step number 2, and inside this bag here, we got a lot of goodies. We got a hand sander here that has a little Velcro attachment right here. I use this actual one in my day-to-day headlight restorations. For this step here, in this kit, they are using a P2000 red disc. They call it the red disc. They want you to fasten it to your sanding block here. And pretty much use water and a wet sanding method. The only problem I have with this here is that right here there's no cushion. It would be ideal to have a cushion there or a buffer pad, which would increase the ability of sanding at this. It would just make it better to achieve the results that you want. It would account for a better feel. It would account for a better seat and just better function. Everything would work better if you had that one thing there. Not dinging them for it, just saying that it feels like they left something out. They want you to sand here with wet sanding. Make sure that the pad stays wet. Make sure the sanding disc stays wet. They want you to use circular motions, and they want you to do this step for about 2 to 3 minutes. So that's exactly what I'm doing. Just going back over every little spot until my timer is up here. Going to fast forward a little bit to this next step. Alright, this next step here, they want you to rinse thoroughly off and then repeat the same thing with the gray disc. So I'm rinsing thoroughly and drying and cleaning with a clean microfiber towel. You always want to have a couple microfiber towels around because once you use it for this step here or some other steps, you just don't want to use it again before you wash it. Okay, here, so going back into this bag here, step 2 bag. As you see here, we have gray discs and red discs, 2 of each. That is 1 of each per headlight. I'm only doing this little bitty section, so of course I'm going to have a lot of leftover material. This is the same exact number of pad that I use for my headlight restoration kit, P3000. The only difference is my pad that I use is a Tranzac or Trizac pad, which is a spongy pad. It's same kind of grit, but it has a sponge behind it instead of just a flat piece of paper. Difference is it's a lot durable. It's a lot better than this paper disc. For instance, one of these paper discs you could probably buy 100 for about $5. The discs that I use cost about $50 for 15. There's a reason for that. But anyways, it's basically the same thought process. They want a real fine sandpaper here to, knock away any of the damage caused by the previous step, trying to build back that smoothness. But anyways, this particular step wants you to repeat the previous step using this disc. So it's the same exact thing as I did before, circular motions, wet sanding with this P3000 sandpaper for 3 minutes. So I'm going to go ahead and fast forward to the next step so you don't have to sit here and watch me sand for 3 minutes. Once again, you thoroughly rinse and dry before you start the next step. You want to wait till the light fully dehydrates. See how it's evaporating here. You want all that water and all that moisture to evaporate before you start the next step, which is going to be step 3, which is the sealant. What really surprised me about this kit is this step here. You move from step 2 to step 3. In my restoration process, there is a polishing stage I implemented between this step and the next. As you see, it's dry and dull looking and this and that, but it's clean and free of oxidation at this point for the most part. But they go straight into the coating. The next step says that you need to put on your second pair of gloves and pretty much open up one of these towelettes of ceramic coating, and you want to move from the top to the bottom horizontally, one side to the next side, overlapping 50% of your strokes, which is pretty much like it sounds. You're just overlapping halfway over onto the stroke that you just did. Okay, here we go. This is the ceramic coating. You got 2 packs here, one for each light. They are pretty juicy here. They're towelettes soaked in this ceramic chemical. You want to do this in a aerated area, whether it's a garage door open, some fans going, or just directly outside like I do. If you're not in proper respiration, it's a good idea to use a mask. This is the towelette, and this is me going from one side to the other in a vertical fashion, overlapping my strokes 50%, and just repeating until I hit all the way down to the bottom. You see that clearing up real nice there. And it specifically says here in bold print, do not double coat. They don't want you to let this stuff dry up and put more on, or double coat once you're done here. They don't want that. The reason being that is sometimes when you have these coatings or any kind of headlight coating, if you put double layers on, or you put too much, or if you let it dry specifically and then do more, it messes up the clarity and it messes up the ability of the light to escape the headlight. You don't want that. You're just defeating the main purpose and function of you doing the headlight restoration, and just not a good idea. All right, there you have it. That is the finished product. It is still wet. It states here that you should not go anywhere or operate your vehicle for 60 minutes. That is my biggest flaw with this kit, ladies and gentlemen, that the ceramic coat, or particular ceramic coat, although it appears to work pretty good, I've believe some other ones might have a little bit better clarity on it. I don't know how well it lasts. From what they're saying, it lasts, it has legs. It'll last a long time. It'll do pretty good, hold up under pressure, under the sun, under the weather and Mother Nature. But far as dry time, this is a hard one. You pretty much would have to keep this in the garage or not do it on a windy day or make sure nothing comes in contact with it. It takes at least 60 minutes to dry. Even after 60 minutes, I touched on the bottom corner of it and I still left fingerprints. So it probably depends on how hot it is during the day. Here I am in the shade underneath my overhang in backyard. With that being said, I give CERAKOTE Headlight Restoration Kit a 4.25 star rating. That being because you should definitely consider this kit to do it yourself at home restoration. But it does fall considerably short of a professional headlight restoration. Just be aware you should protect your vehicle by taping off and know you're going to have a significant downtime afterwards using this product. Stay tuned for the next product review, Philips Headlight Restoration Kit. Please like, subscribe, and share, and feel free to ask questions.